I'm Darcy Bachygaard, co-author of The Startup Teacher. I'm doing a quick tour today of our tool, the Educator Canvas. The Canvas is designed to help you personalize your professional development, allowing you to focus on challenges that impact your students, your classroom, and your school community. As a learning designer, the person responsible for literally designing the learning experience for all of your students, you are the expert on what you, your students, and your classroom need to be even more successful. Use the Educator Canvas to help you design possible solutions for any challenges, big or small, that might be getting in the way or slowing down some of that learning. This is the Educator Canvas. Every question is designed to help propel you through your project ideas to implementation. Skip around from box to box. This is not a linear process. And as with all problem solving, it's probably going to get a little bit messy. No matter how you finish the rest of the canvas, it's vital to first start by identifying your problem. We found it helpful to pose this problem as a question, and then this question sets you off on a quest to find the best answer, i.e. your solution. So we've put our challenge question into a Mad Lib form. How might we, insert your action, plus your user, plus your impact. Even if you think you already have a solution in mind, writing down what the challenge you're addressing is will change how you implement your solution. Even if you think, oh, my solution is I'm going to use Flipgrid, back up a step or two and really think, what challenge in my classroom am I hoping that Flipgrid will help me address? How might I utilize technology so students are engaged in our speech unit? How might we redesign our first unit so parents are able to instruct students at home? So again, even if you think you already have your solution in mind, which is great, still write your challenge question first. And that's going to set you off on a much more specific path than if you just start with, well, I saw this cool thing and I want to do that. It's great to have that cool thing in mind, but pause, take a step back, and really think about what is the challenge that cool thing is going to help you fix, address, or mitigate in your classroom. One thing I love about the Educator Canvas is that it can be used on all types of problems and challenges, big and small, individual, group, or district-wide projects, things you work on with colleagues or with your students. Plus, the Canvas can be used to break large projects down into chunks. For instance, a district might have the overarching problem, how might we reimagine school for our students so they have a quality blended learning experience? That overarching problem will have its own impact, insights, logistics, and execution. To address that challenge, however, individual teachers may want to break down the problem into smaller chunks. For example, an elementary school teacher might write their own challenge question. How might I create lessons and tools to help parents and guardians support student learning at home while reducing stress for all involved? A middle school or high school teacher might decide their challenge is how might I craft interactive online lectures for my students so they can access them at home and engage with my content effectively. Note that all three of these examples have a clear action verb describing how they're going to work on the problem. Each has clearly identified who their user is, and each has a clear impact of what they want to do. By using a Canvas for each sub-question, the big challenge is broken down into more manageable, relatable steps that help individual teachers focus on what that is going to look like in their classroom. The impact column is asking you, what do you hope this accomplishes? And how will you know if you have accomplished what you want to accomplish? Depending on the scope of your project, you may or may not complete the long-term goal box, but think of it this way. You have very little free time. By thinking about how this project, however small, plays into your greater vision for your classroom or for your school community, you'll be maximizing your time by focusing on projects that will have the greatest impact. The insights column is probably my favorite. I love it because this column can help you find a solution or help you figure out the best way to implement your solution. You do not have to do this on your own. Seek out inspiration from people who have already addressed similar problems. There is a lot of great information out there, so take time to find some resources, ideas, and practices that you can tap into and adapt for your project. Your solution will still be yours because you're going to implement it and you're going to adapt it to best fit your needs. Don't forget to talk to the people who you are designing for. So whether you already have a solution and you're looking for feedback on how best to roll it out, or you're not sure how you want to address the problem, seek out information from your user and let them help make some of the decisions, let them guide your path forward. Need a reminder of why talking to your user is so important? Check out this little comic strip. Talk to your user and make sure that what you have in mind as a solution, or make sure that how you plan to implement your solution actually works for the people you're designing for. You'll notice the logistics and execution columns are linked together with these handy little arrows. This is a not so subtle reminder that these things really interplay with each other. So thinking about these boxes in relation to each other will really help you streamline your process. As you think about what tasks need to be accomplished, simultaneously be thinking about what is your timeline? What is a realistic amount of time to complete each step? As you're going through those tasks, think about what you need to do versus what you want to do. Resources are simply anything you need to complete your task list above. Just as you outlined what you need to do as well as what you want to do in your task list, make sure you outline what you need to have versus what you want to have. Think of, in an ideal world, what would you want? Because that will help you strategize how might you actually be able to get as close to that ideal version as possible. Have a strategy. How are you going to obtain those resources? Who do you need to talk to? Now, partners are not the people who are going to be on your day-to-day team. Partners are people that can help enhance your project, people who would be supportive of your idea. Who do you need on your side? Managing your relationships means you are thinking about both those partners as well as the people who are on your team. Even if you're doing a project solo, don't underestimate the need for managing relationships. As corny as it sounds, you need to manage your relationship with yourself, and giving yourself some clear deadlines. See also your timeline above, but also give yourself some dedicated time to work on this task. In addition, it's surprising sometimes how other people react when we start innovating. So think through, how might you avoid any drama that could occur with the implementation of your project? It's easy to feel like, well, I'm just doing something in my classroom. It doesn't really affect anyone else. Unfortunately, I have been burned by thinking that in the classroom. So who might have a negative reaction, and how might you turn that person into a partner? How might they become part of your team? Or how are you going to strategize mitigating/ignoring that person or persons? And finally, the solution statement. Write your theory of change. What do you plan to do and what will that accomplish? Whether you do the solution statement right away or if you do it after you've done some investigating, it doesn't matter. Write your solution using this Mad Lib. We, insert your action, so that blank. What you write after that so is vital. Just saying I will utilize X tech tool or I will implement a blank teaching strategy just isn't enough. What impact do you want to have? Your solution is your North Star. So clearly stating what you hope to accomplish or address is vital so you know if you're on track. Plus, what you want to accomplish will change how you implement your solution. Think of how different these statements are. I will utilize Flipgrid. I will utilize Flipgrid so I ensure I'm hearing from each student every day. I will utilize Flipgrid so students can practice speaking and listening as well as giving each other meaningful feedback. I will utilize Flipgrid so students have a living library of their reading fluency growth throughout the year. Same tool, same basic action, but very different impacts. And because those impacts are so different, it will really change how you as a teacher roll that tool out and how you implement it in the classroom. And that's the Educator Canvas. We hope this simple tool will help you take back your professional development and turn your ideas for solving educational challenges into reality. For more information and support with the Canvas, check out our book, The Startup Teacher. It's full of deep dives on how to address each element of the Canvas, as well as a lot of great resources for helping you develop your leadership skills and manage stress while reducing burnout. Whether you use the Canvas by yourself, for a district project, or with your students, we would love to hear what you're doing to innovate in education. Please reach out to us at educatorlab.io and tell us your story. We can't wait to hear how the Canvas is helping you revolutionize education.